G'day everyone, Jason here, and I've got a review today of some Star Wars Galaxy of Adventure action figures. So I got these on my recent trip to Brisbane, some at Mr. Toys, some at Target. They were sort of all over the shop. These are more a stylized, cartoony version of Star Wars figures. So we've got a droid pack here where you get BB-8, you get Dido, and you also get R2-D2, and then we've also got Chewbacca. As I said, a very animated style to them, and I think they may have an action feature. We've also got Rey, we've got Han Solo, of course, and we have Darth Vader. So we're going to open these up. They each have an action, so the Force Slash, a Sling and Blast attack, a Force attack, a Wookiee Slam, and I don't know what the droids do. I think they're just a 3-pack of droids. So anyway, let us open them up and have a look at the figures out of the box. Okay, so here they are out of the box. So we have the droids. So little Dido, R2-D2, BB-8, Rey, Han Solo, Chewbacca, and Darth Vader. And I gotta say, like, I think they scale really well. Like, I think, you know, Chewie is the tallest of the characters, as he should be. Darth Vader's second tallest, Han Solo, then Rey, and then the droids are in scale with each of the figures that they really should be. Like, BB-8's probably a little bit tall by comparison to Rey, but she is also sort of posed with some bent legs. But yeah, I think they scale in well, and obviously there's a more toon sort of feel to them, and they each have a sort of action feature, which we'll have a look at in a second. So we'll have a quick close look at each one and their action feature. Okay, so starting with the droids, so there's not too much in regards to their action features. The wheel does spin around, but there is also a flat point on it so it can stand up. The little antenna in the back of Dido's head do rotate, and his head does rotate left and right on that little joint if you hold it in place. So it's a fairly basic sort of figure there. BB-8 has a feature where you're supposed to slam down and his head twists around or something, or his sides pop out. Oh, I don't know. Oh, okay. That's an interesting feature, but I think I would just be posing him personally. Ooh. So he does sit there, and R2 has obviously rollers on his feet. His head does turn left and right. His arms do go up, and there is some movement in the base there. And then this foot does have some articulation, so it can be forward, it can be back, it can go up into the body. Oh, that's hard to get out. And then you can bring it out to have it in that classic style roller pose. So those are the 3 droids. So Rey is fairly articulated, like the head is on a ball joint. She can look down, she can look up, she can turn, well, she can do a full 360. So yeah, and the facial features like are stylized and cartoonized, but they look good. They're well painted. The face looks good. The hair's on the side. She's got the hair pattern on there. Obviously, she's in her garb, and that holstered gun there does actually come out. She's got a bit of a hood happening. So these are very rubber stylized sort of pieces that are sort of out of the way, but she is articulated. Like, she's got leg movement, she's got ankle movement, rockers, her arms will bend, they're also on twistable joints, so there's a reasonable amount of movement. The only difficulty is because of her very skinny arms and legs, again because of the stylized look, she is a little bit difficult to pose, but of course she's fine there. And her feature, or action feature, and it's not much of an action feature because I'm pretty sure He-Man's been doing this for ages, is basically just a waist rocker, so you can spin her around and she can spin back and attack. So it's not the greatest, but you know, the lightsaber she comes with is Luke's, and it's got a lot of detail. As I said, the weapon is identical to the actual weapon she has, and it does holster properly into a holster, and she has a fairly good range of movement. So yeah, so that is Rey. Okay, so we've got Han and Chewie. So again, a really good sculpt, a lot of movement. It's a stylized Han. There is the little chin mark, which is pretty good. He's got the sort of the hair happening. He's got that classic look. He can holster his weapon. The joints are very stiff, so the knee joints are ratcheted and they're quite stiff. I do like how he's got the glossy boots. He does have his holster. He does have obviously waist articulation. The leather jacket is like a rubber piece over the top, separate from the rest, and the same for his holster, although it is attached to the side here, but it is a separate piece, so it doesn't hinder too much of the movement there. It's got all the little sections on the holster. As I said, the detail and the paint on these is really good. He has got his traditional blaster, and it does look very, very good. So as I said, I can't complain about the details. It's got the Carillion blood stripe down the side of the pants. Yeah, so it obviously it's not exactly Han Solo. It's not the an accurate actor's license, actor's sort of likeness, but it is a cartoon or stylized version of the character. And his action feature, if we can do it here, is effectively a quick draw. So when you pull his hand up, he can shoot first. So this is one hand that will definitely get the drop on Greedo, because straight away he's up there ready to draw. So that is Han Solo. And then obviously his hetero life mate Wookiee, Chewbacca. He comes with the bowcaster. Chewie looks really good. Again, a stylized cartoon look, but it's hard with the fur. So his bandolier and his little man purse is a separate sort of piece, but it is attached up here at the shoulder. But it's a sort of a rubberized plastic. And then Chewie has the sort of the growling, snarling look. He's got a real heft to him. I do like his feet with the big toes and the hair and the different colors. Again, very stiff joints, like this elbow joint. Oh, yeah. So finally, yeah. So that's sort of there, but he's got a ball socket joint in the shoulder. Can bend at the elbows, can bend at the knees, and he does hold on to his weapon. And in fact, I've got to say that they really hold their weapons quite well. The hands are easy and pliable, but they are designed to actually hold the weapon and even have like the trigger spots and the trigger fingers for the characters, which I think is really good. So Chewbacca's action feature is a Wookiee slam, and effectively we put his arms down, he can basically, both arms can come up at the same time, and you can hold them up. Oop, Han Solo goes down, and then basically they slam down at the same time. So it's like him punching the table, or attacking someone like that. So that is Chewbacca, and that is Han Solo. And yeah, once you get them standing, they look really good, and they certainly look good together. I think they're the right height for each other. Finally, that brings us to the Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Vader. So he is in again a more stylized version. You'll see with his face there, he does have the red eyes, very basic sort of chest plate details, but the lightsaber is really detailed. He also has everything on his belt, which is pretty cool. He is fully articulated underneath the rubberized pieces. So the outer skirt here is rubber, and then the cape is also very strange. It's a thin rubber. It's very pliable, and it's very easy to move out the way. And then you can see his underskirt like there. It's also got a couple of holes in it, and it's got to split up the side so it doesn't hinder his movement. So you can actually get a fair bit of articulation. As I said, it's the same sort of articulation as all the other characters, a ball joint at the legs, and then knee joints. There's nothing much at the ankle other than a rocker forward and backwards. I don't think there's much yeah, there's not much side movement in it, but he does pose, and I do like the fact that he's got his force choke hand, so his hand is in that force choke mode, and his action feature, similar to Rey, is basically he swings, and I guess that's why they gave him the rubber cape, is so that he can actually sort of swing around unhindered. Ooh. He then clicks into place. So yeah, if you move him too far, he'll click into place, but that's his feature.